What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Try Time Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Callum.
And as you can see, for episode 85, we're back together again.
Yeah, it were a short couple of weeks, I guess, going it solo, but yeah, we're back now.
I mean, I was about to make a reunion joke, but I can't use One Direction for this anymore.
No, and the thing is, that might be week-old news. Well, it will be week-old news to you guys listening, because we are recording this on Thursday.
I think this happened in the early hours of this morning / last night when we're recording this, just so you've got an idea of the pop culture messages of the time.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, if you want more specific timings, about 10 minutes ago, Bradford have announced that O'Carroll's leaving, but I mean, we might touch on that later on.
I mean, you all knew that anyway, because you just heard Harry completely cream himself at the news. And you know, like the South Park image where you've just got computer covered.
Yeah.
Just Photoshop Harry's face on that for the viewers at home.
Yeah.
And for the audio listeners, there's a visual for you.
Yeah. It wasn't a fan worry, but yeah. So in terms of the Championship Grand Final, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what has happened, so we're not going to necessarily
let us know what's happened and subscribe while you're here, because if you get to 1,000, you might win a shirt. I've remembered at the start this week.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, so in terms of if the Championship Grand Final, I've got no doubt we'll include that, a bit of a good 5 minutes about that in next week's podcast. Definitely.
But in the meantime, all I'd like to say is congratulations to Wakefield. Congratulations to Toulouse for causing a big upset.
Yeah.
Delete as appropriate.
Christ. Right. But I guess, yeah, this weekend, as you guys are listening, watching, is the first England game against Samoa, and we're gonna.
Which to say we all said we were going to go to this game. Two of us still haven't bought tickets.
For which one's this? For the first one, or
for the Wigan one? Yeah.
The Wigan, yeah. Oh, I don't even know what's happening with the Wigan one. I mean, I know that the Leeds one is.
Leeds one's booked on my end.
Yeah, it's signed, sealed, and delivered. But the Wigan one, yeah, it's work commitments. It might not happen, but we'll try the best.
But either way, are we happy with who's playing, I guess is the question. Because there's a few interestings in this squad.
Interesting is an interesting way of putting it, really. But yeah, I think obviously we had what did they call it? The performance squad or the
whatever it was,
squad, which at the time it was hard for there to be many talking points because it felt like it had pretty much. It was that big. It kind of
there was some, but
not as massive as probably what we're going to talk about now, though.
No, definitely not.
The worrying part is the players we're talking about and who are missing are players who was actually in that performance squad. So there's been I can't really get behind Wayne's thought process with letting certain players miss out, which I guess is the main one everyone's talking about. Is Wardle, really?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like you say, he is the obvious omission. Now he's supposedly injured.
Yeah, which is fair enough if he is, and yeah,
I don't know what you make
by the
of
time
that.
this comes out.
But yeah, so that is the reason that has been given for why he is, as you say, omitted from this squad. And I'm just putting them up on the big screen so I can actually see what's going on without having to flip between my phone every 2 minutes, because the organised podcast, bloody hell, that turns my face bright. It's like I'm in a ring light. There we go.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Wardle thing is we said the whole time, like, well, towards back in the season especially, he's the best centre in the league, and it makes sense for England to use the connection he's got with Marshall in these tests. Play them as well.
Obviously, if he's injured, then, like you say, valid reason to not include him. But
it's an interest. But then we're talking centres, and I can't remember who else were in performance squad. But I mean, I think only having two out-and-out centres is worrying, especially because Farnworth wants to play fullback anyway, even though he's not going to do. But why is it Newman the other one? Because let's be honest, is Newman the next best English centre?
Well, I was about to say, bring on to players who don't deserve to be in the squad, and Harry Newman was going to be one of the first names I mentioned in players who shouldn't be here.
Yeah, he's kind of, and he won't thank me for saying this, he's like if you want to go football terms, like the Harry Maguire, the player who he'll play shit for his club, but just because he's put in a couple of good performances for country, the coach is staying loyal to him.
I mean, you say he won't thank you, like he's going to listen to this. Let's be honest.
You never know. But I don't know the Toby King situation, but he also played really well last year. So it's, do you know what I mean? It's, yeah. Personally, I'd have had King there. I don't know.
What do you mean? We've got Curry and Bateman. They're centres, remember?
Oh, they're the backups.
Yeah, that's what's worrying.
Obviously, Wellesby can play there, but then
who do you put at fullback if Wellesby's playing the centre? And also, don't forget, it was some questionable centre defensive work, granted 2 years ago now, that was part of the reason Samoa undid us at Wembley. No, Emirates.
I mean, you've got to think Samoa they've pushed, this should have been last weekend, this first game, they pushed it back because their centre is one of their best player is getting married. That's right, and it's
Crichton's wedding.
Yeah,
the man who kicked us out of the World Cup.
Yeah,
has kicked our test back a week so he can get married. Which I mean, do you know what? Fair play, the camaraderie. Because let's face it, the majority of that squad will be there.
Oh yeah, I mean it makes sense. I have not got an issue with that. I think people were clowning it. It's not the end of the world, but
it's just quite typical rugby league, isn't it? Really, like the whole international game is smaller than one person's wedding.
Yeah, well, that is true.
It's the most rugby league headline to ever come out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. But I think let's do a bit of comparison between, and I can't remember what side Newman were on and what side, like, I'm going to use Hurrell as an example, but Newman matched up against Hurrell, Newman gets the better of that. Newman matched up against Crichton, it's a long day. And Samoa aren't going to come like what Tonga did. Samoa are going to come, there's going to be a lot more in these tests than there were in them Tonga ones. I can just feel Samoa are going to come with a point to prove and to
all going to be hung over from his week-long bender after getting married.
Maybe so. Don't get me wrong. I could be proved wrong. I mean, for all we know, this podcast could be absolute null and void. Crichton's wedding could get bloody bombed. I don't know. All could happen.
Jesus, that's a bit fat. I was going to say get served some of Wenger's lasagna, but you know.
But you never know, do you? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I don't really quite know how to follow up with that other than... Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah. You'll never... If that has happened, this is not going anywhere, this podcast, anyway.
This is out before the wedding, remember?
No, it's not. It's out after the wedding. The wedding's this weekend as we're recording.
Oh, it's because Championship Grand Final's more on, so I just focus on the significant things in life.
Christ. But... I mean, that's the centre situation. I think, there's a sort of, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it.
There's also another big question there on why have we likely wasted a spot?
Go on.
Why have we picked Luke Thompson when he's probably going to be banned from the grand final?
Is that an official thing where that'll carry on to the international?
Yes. Because rugby league disciplinaries are stupid.
Yeah, if that is the case, then that is stupid. I mean, we might, and that's one of them, I imagine, where, well, when this goes out, that'll already be decided.
I mean, we know why he's done it. So it serves 2 of his game bans, so we're going to have less time without him next year.
Yeah, but that's
why Sean Wayne will have picked him, being Wigan through and through.
It also, A, is a waste of a spot, but B, that's bad news for England because he's England's best prop. I mean, and there's not much. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not the title that it once was by any stretch of the imagination, but he is, and that's.
Well, you're looking at who else you've got in this squad who's playing prop. I mean, you've got Ethan Havard, who is definitely below Thompson in the Wigan pecking order. So why on earth would he be above England?
I think Havard deserves this call up, though. To be fair, I think
deserves the call up, but he's not better than Thompson.
Oh no, yeah.
You've got Chris Hill, who, I mean, this man will be getting called up when he's about 50 at this point. Let it go, man. I'm sorry. He needs to retire from international duty since his coach is too bloody thick to work it out himself.
Yeah, and I always say Chris Hill, and he's one of the best modern day props in Super League in terms of longevity and what he done and his consistency, especially in his prime days at Warrington. Great, but I'm the biggest Hill guy, right? And I'll die on that hill. But
that's not got any better when you said it off camera.
But it is probably time internationally, at least, to maybe take a step back. But I mean, it's not on Hill. If Hill's getting picked as a person, as a player, you want to represent your country. So I'm not.
Oh, I get it from his perspective, but
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, for Wayne, potentially.
I mean, it doesn't get much better either because the next one's Matty Lees.
Yeah, I mean,
I also deserve his spot in Dream Team. I'm not sure he deserves his spot for England.
I get that one. I'm happy with that. But you have missed Tom Burgess at top as well when you're going through alphabet.
No, we're getting on to him. I think
all right, I'll let you.
Because we're going to go from the man that Huddersfield have decided to bin off to probably potentially the worst signing Huddersfield are ever going to make.
Do you not? Well, I
mean, actually, we're throwing Mike McMeekin in here as well, since he's played every bum position in the forwards. We might well put him at prop. If so, he's not big enough against that type of opposition. But do you think Smithies will play at prop?
No, I don't. But I mean, us just speaking about this, there's not a lot of props in this squad. So it's just full of loose forwards and back rowers, I think, isn't it? And wingers.
Yeah.
But the fact
half the back rowers are centres, so they're not actually back rowers.
Why is it right? We're going to come at some more of these stuff, but I
think we're going to have to redo this squad, aren't we, at some point? I didn't think our pod was going to be picking our 24-man squad, but this is what we're going to have to do here.
I just think some of the decisions, like for props, I know there's not like an absolute plethora of them out there, but like especially if Thompson isn't playing, who's your starting prop? You're starting with, let's say, Havard and Knowles with Lees, Burgess coming off bench.
I think you start Havard and Burgess. Then you have.
You don't start Burgess. I mean,
I wouldn't, but this is what I reckon they will do. This is me entering Sean Wayne's mind rather than my own, which actually this is a scary place. Let me out, please. Hill will be on the bench. We know that much. Havard will start because Wigan. So then you stuck with either Lees or Burgess. And out of them two, I think he's almost backed himself into a corner of starting Burgess, because you need to actually hit ground running in the first 10 minutes against Samoa. And Lees and Havard, as your props, are much more likely to get run straight through.
I get what you mean, but I mean, I think
basically it's just a shit squad in that position. And it's been really poorly planned out.
Oh, outside. The fact was about Thompson is, look at the grand final. He played 50 straight minutes or whatever, and then went off for 10 and came back on. Like, Thompson, if Thompson's playing, you're not worrying too much about your props, and it almost can offer you, you only need to potentially carry 2 props on bench then. And
this is where we find out that the tribunal have overturned it by the time that everyone's listening.
Yeah, so let's not go too deep into that. I think we know from the props there's enough to get the job done. But if Thompson's suspended, I'm really worried about that pack. Because I know there's a lot of the loose forward situation. I mean, Curry's played there all year pretty much for Warrington. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that's why he's in the squad. Bateman.
I've got the thing up. Luke Thompson, grade B dangerous contact, 1 match penalty notice, so he will miss the first test.
Right.
So he's not playing at Wigan, ironically, and returns for Leeds. Now, I don't know what you think as to whether that is still a waste now, knowing that he's going to miss half the series.
No, I don't think it is, because I think he can win you at second game. But I also think...
You point out how stupid this is, a part improving. What is the point of 2-game test series? You need 3.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, that first test, I'm not looking forward to a Tom Burgess, Chris Hill, geriatric fucking front row. Might as well pull fucking James Roby out of retirement and chuck him in middle of them.
We've got Darryl Clark, Matt, as basically.
He's getting there. But yeah, the loose forward situation, you've got Bateman can play there. Obviously, Knowles is a loose forward. McMeekin easily could step into that. Radley, Smith I know Radley. I don't even understand. I think Radley's injured as well, isn't he? I've heard. So
Oh, for God's sake.
The Radley situation, I think, I don't know, to be honest, mate. I don't actually know what he's going to do with this, because who would you start at loose out of them? Because I'd argue, right?
I'd probably start Smithies.
I would, but I think functionally within a team, I think they would probably been better taking Minchella instead of Knowles, and I think Minchella would have got in. I think he in terms of what he does for the team, I prefer personally in what I like from like a loose forward at that level. I need someone who's got the ball playing ability of Minchella, as opposed. I know Smithies has got that. Don't Smithies?
Honestly, do you know I think I'd be rotating Smithies with, and I think as much as he's played most of his career in the back row, I think I'd be putting KPP as my backup 13 here.
Is he not? Who's starting in second row for you though? It's got to be Piers Paul and then Sember in second row, hasn't it? Like if we were actually serious.
See, this is where I wouldn't, but then I probably disagree with some positions here as to where he's going to play them.
Thing with Piers
Paul, if I'd start second row, I'd probably go and Sember and McMeekin.
No, it's got Piers Paul is the best second rower in that squad.
Yeah, but if I'm putting him at 13.
Yeah, but he's starting. I mean, you got Piers Paul, someone who plays second row. He didn't even start.
This is the problem, isn't it? We're trying to shoehorn because we've got a bunch of crap 13s.
No, there's a lot of 13s that they're good, but I just play Smithies at 13 then. But then I think he'll play if Radley's fit. He'll start Walker, right? Because he's going to start Smith and Williams, rightly so, in my opinion, right? By the way, that's controversial, right? In the halves. So he's going to start Walker at hooker, Radley at 13, and he'll carry Mikey Lewis on the bench and not Darryl Clark. So if Walker will miss 20 minutes in the middle of the game, and Radley will just play cover hooker, or Lewis will, and it'll be. But Radley will be there to do, you know what I mean? It'll be a bit of a match so they can share it. And Lewis will just be kind of a bit of a spare runner.
Is he the Mark Sneed role?
I won't call it a Mark Sneed. I think you just put Lewis on just for pure chaos I'm not going to lie. Every time, the more I speak about this test series, I think Samoa are going to absolutely smash us. I'm not going to lie, mate. It's just not looking good.
I'm not blown away with this. I mean,
it's
I was going to say, is it worth us going through this squad and seeing who actually deserves the place? So we'll do this quite quick because I don't want to just replay it. Ashton, yes.
Yeah.
Bateman,
yes.
Question mark.
I'd want him there for, I think, experience and the fact he's still playing. It's not like he's
experience, just yes. Form, shit. Performances this season as a whole, shit.
I'd rather have John Bateman in squad than Ben Curry, even though Ben Curry might have had a better season.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
question mark, but I think he probably deserves to be in the squad. I don't necessarily know how much game time he should get, but we'll see. That's up to Wayne to decide how he trains with the rest of them. Burgess.
I'm going to say no because this is a test series against Samoa, which is not the be all and end all. If you're looking ahead to the World Cup, you probably need to be looking at props like a George Delaney or even like an Oledsky potentially in there because they're going to be the future. Tom Burgess ain't playing in a World Cup in 2 years' time.
I mean, I think Delaney definitely is one for the future. I mean, Oledsky stat-wise has outperformed Matty Lees with a bunch of worse players around him, which I think says more about why Matty Lees is the most overhyped player in Super League at the moment by people in the RFL.
The thing with Lees is, I think, and this is, to be fair, could probably be said about Oledsky, the thing with Lees is he's got the perfect prop build. He's got the fitness side of it. He is like, if you look.
But is that not then more concerning that he's got the perfect build and his stats are through the floor?
I agree with you, but he's aesthetically, that's what I think is a big thing. He's more aesthetically pleasing than a lot of other props.
So what you're telling me, he's got the rugby league George Clooney effect, and that's what's keeping him in and around the England squad.
But he also has got a high ceiling because of that as well, I think.
But has he though? Because how old is he now?
Like mid-20s, like a couple of years older, maybe a year or two older than us, sort of around that age.
Yeah. Jeez, I feel like he's been around forever.
Oh, he broke in at a young age, yeah.
But I mean, anyway, Burgess, question mark, I think, because there's, like you say, there's good arguments either way. Darryl Clark.
He's got to be kind of on it, really. I mean,
I'm saying no.
If
Same reasons you gave for Burgess. He's not part of the World Cup squad. He's come off the back of the worst season of probably he's had in over a decade.
What other hooker would you have taken? Because Leeming's the only the option, I think.
Because O'Neill's injured.
Yeah, because O'Neill's injured,
forces you down that road. But Leeming's just been a part of a team that's won a quadruple. And at the very least, he's younger. Now, do I think he's better than Clark? No. But I think Walker and Radley are playing hooker, and the other one's not going to see any minutes. So what's the point?
Yeah. No,
you might as well take someone else.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you.
I mean, actually, fuck that. Jared O'Connor gives you the 13 and 9 cover, and this squad is full of 13, so let's add another one in.
Well, yeah. True. I'm trying to think if there's any that we've missed there, just because I know we'll end up missing.
I know. Have we managed to dig Edwin Pape a British passport yet?
Jez Litton, there you go.
Not the worst shout. I'd prefer him over Clark.
Again, is Clark going to be knocking it? I mean, he will be playing Super League in a couple of years, I don't doubt that. But is he going to be like able to go to?
It's back at Cass and not getting him. But he's going to have a McShane end to his career. He won't be around them.
Oh yeah, I think
for the World Cup.
If I were to predict us two hookers for World Cup, I'd be saying now O'Neill and Walker.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I know they'll probably be a young, like Forber at Wigan. He had a good grand final, when he came on. Like there is good.
Yeah, I don't see him usurping O'Neill. I think if you leave him, you probably know you're not spending many years in that team because Wigan will always put their academy boys first, and considering they get discount on the cap for it, rightly so.
Yeah, and they produce players that they do from academy,
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not going to put. No disrespect to Lehman, but he's not this exceptional talent that should block an academy products development pathway. It's not like he's stuck behind a Bevan French, where you kind of think, well, he's the best player Super League's had in over a decade. Of course, he's going to stay.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, Ben Curry, no.
I think Ben Curry is fine. I think he's one of them players where he just,
Oh, it's just not exciting, is it? And again, he's not good enough to get into like the top 4 in any position on that field. He's about 6th in all of them. And he's hit his ceiling.
Mean Scheller is a better player and has had a better season than him. That's my gripe. I know you're not like the highest in the
thing
world.
Is like, if you say in this fictional world where everyone's fit as well, you've got way more players that should be in front of him. Even at Warrington, I mean, Nicholson's miles cleared of him.
Yeah, no, and Nicholson's going to be in and around the World Cup. Like that's what I feel like. This
in the NRL. That's basically a guaranteed selection if you're English and in the NRL. Unless your name's Ryan Sutton, you're getting in if you're playing in Australia. Because he's a forgotten man at this point.
No, but it's true, and I think a player like and I like Curry as well. I think he's one of their most consistent Super League players of recent times, really. But
if you're asking me, does he get in and around Warrington's team? Yes. England, no.
Right, I've got a question for you around this, which is because off the top of my head, I'm imagining Curry's definitely got more caps because he went to World Cup in past and stuff like that. Who is has had a better career and is a better player when you look back on the careers? Liam Farrell or Ben Curry?
Farrell.
And Farrell, Curry's definitely got more England caps on it.
I would rather us take Farrell than Curry to this World Cup. No, this test even.
Yeah. I think the thing with Farrell is he's got such a unique running style that
if you want to talk about taking players just for experience, you're picking Farrell over Bateman.
I mean, yeah, potentially, but I mean, I don't mind the Bateman pick. I think
I prefer the Bateman pick to the Curry pick.
Yeah. So we keep going anyway because we're going to be here all bloody day with it.
I was going to say Farnworth in.
Yeah. Havard in. Let's go.
Deserves it, yeah. Hill, no, I think it's too late. We're both agree on that. Knowles, I wouldn't take.
No. Minchella's better.
I've already said no for me.
I think Lees, yeah, because I think Lees is the sort of prop that can be starting for you at the World Cup. I know he's had a bad season, but for me, Lees.
Yeah, maybe against it's down to 10 teams. There's nobody that crap anymore, so no.
The fact is, there's no that.
He's all right to chuck on against Greece.
There's not many good props. Is my gripe and reason for him. I think you know what I mean. There's not much competition.
Fair enough.
And if you're sending out potentially Burgess and Hill, and then Lees, who are you putting in there? Because I mean, I know you're not.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of judging these on an individual player basis, but yeah, if you think like that, I guess holistically across the board, yeah, he maybe does sneak in as one of your rotation. This is why I keep Burgess in.
Yeah, I get that. Right, Lewis, yes.
Yes. Marshall, 100%, yes.
Yes.
Marshall and Ashton, for me, probably the best two wingers in Super League this year. Dom Young's going to throw a spanner in the works in terms of who plays, but McMeekan, yes.
McMeekan, the good thing about him is he's got the ability to play all of the positions in the pack outside a hooker well, and he's done them in the past. So it's, I think
precisely, he's a very sensible pick from a squad planning perspective. Newman, no.
No, yeah.
And Semba, yes.
Yeah.
KPP, yes.
Yeah.
Radley, again, versatility, yes, albeit he is an Aussie.
Yeah, that.
But,
we'll take it now.
Look, it represents England and not Australia. I don't think he's ever pulled on the green and gold.
So no. And he's done it for a while now. We're past the point of.
Yeah, exactly. The fact he's still stuck around and he's back for another one means he's proving his commitment to the shirt for me.
Definitely.
Smith, yes.
Yeah.
Smithies, yeah.
Yeah.
Thompson, yes.
These are all, yeah, mate. I'm not
Walker, Wellesby, Williams, Young. There's no argument about any of these guys, let's be honest.
They're pretty much, them last five especially, are the first names on the team sheet, probably, to be fair. They're up there.
Interesting.
Well, Dom Young is one of it. Like, you're not playing.
No, there's only one of them I'm going to take a point with here.
I'm going to assume is Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he there for the World Cup?
He's captain, no, mate. He's not. So.
Look, we're not. Who Sean Wayne appoints captain is irrelevant. We are Sean Wayne in this scenario.
Yeah, but who's the first? They're the five first names. I'm not saying for me.
I'm not saying who. Yeah, I don't mean who will actually play. I mean, should they have got in the squad?
No, but yeah.
And should we be starting with, in your opinion, Williams and Smith, or is Smith and Lewis the better partnership to get going ahead of the World Cup?
Williams will be there at World Cup, though. That's the thing. I think Williams is unreal, mate. I'm not going. I think he's the best.
No, he is the Harry Maguire of this.
He is.
Frauds his way through club level and then pulls on an international jersey, having just finished about 10th with Warrington, and suddenly looks like he's put Thurston's scrum cap on.
He's good. I think he's great, Williams. I think he's kind of the best of both worlds between Lewis and Smith as well. And I think you put someone like Williams with Smith, who Smith's proved a lot this year, I think, especially in that grand final, about his. We've been not critical of him, but we've said maybe there was a bit too much hype. And that we would have predicted at the end of last year, it'd be Lewis and Williams, and Lewis would overtake him. And in a sense, he has, but Smith's also proved his worth. And
I think the thing is, Smith is an organizer. He kicks very strong, even like regimental kicks. Lewis cannot control a game.
No, Lewis
needs chaos ball 101. They are very different players. And Williams is kind of, in one of those categories, he comes second in both out of the three.
Yeah, yeah.
He's better game management than Lewis, and he's far more creative at making something happen than Smith. But the other problem is Smith and Lewis are both, in international rugby terms at least, terrible at the other.
And defensively, which I think is a big part that you don't see.
Well, we could just put the picture of Bevan French basically just slapping Lewis off now.
In terms of experience, defense, Williams blows them out of the water. And
well, I'm not bothered about experience because, like you've touched on here, this is in the grand scheme of things, pretty pointless 2-game test.
Oh yeah, I guess but
and you can't get experience if you don't play. So
no, I get
this is the time to experiment a bit, which I think is probably why this squad's a little bit disappointing. Because I don't look anywhere here and think, right, he's trying something. We're going to see how this guy gets on. It's very, predictable, even in terms of the who shouldn't be there. Because we all said, watch Chris Hill rock up again, rather than going for somebody a bit younger and maybe someone who's the outside pick. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, I'd like to. I think Delaney is definitely the key one for me. I think you could easily put Delaney now instead of Hill, even if he didn't play.
Yeah.
And I'd have been happy. But anyway, I guess that's England, isn't it?
Yes. So shall we move on to the breaking news coach drama that is, I guess, firstly Eamon leaving Bradford, but also Kurt Haggerty joining Salford for 2026, with Paul Rowley moving into the back rooms after this year.
It's a shock. It was a shock when it were announced, which were a couple of days ago for us, where Rowley were going to go to the back room after next season. And I'm like, it would be, I get it, because I think he'll be good at the role, don't get me wrong, but it did surprise me. And then the news of Haggerty, I think as a Salford fan, would you be a bit disappointed maybe with that?
I mean, when it comes to coaching, Salford are far and away the most incestuous club in the league. They refuse to do anything other than keep it in the family. I mean, you had Rowley involved in Watson's setup. I'm sure Haggerty's been around for donkey's years in the coaching, and sure enough, here we are again. It's like some little coaching cult going on, and so far it's worked for them. Because they've reached Wembley, they've reached the grand final, and they've once again proved everyone wrong and finished fourth. So if this little weird inbred model works for them, then go for it. It seems a logical step.
Yeah, I mean, Haggerty's obviously been with Rowley since, I mean, he played under Rowley at Lee, back in the day and stuff like that. So it is and I think when I say disappointing, I think Haggerty he was a really good player, especially like that sort of upper championship level. But I imagine he can be a great coach. Like they won't have hired him for no reason. My worry is, why are they announcing it over a year in advance? You could have 10 of the best managers in the world could become available, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, but the only other thing they've been linked with all year is Eamon O'Carroll, which we all know
Which could have happened if they
which we all know what Harry thinks to that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's an all just disaster, isn't it? It's like, I mean, the Bradford thing's weird as well, I think, because I'm not that bothered. I think he was fine. He did a good job. Next year, we're going to be where I properly judged him. But then my worry is this squad that we've got for next year, which I think is a really good squad, going to be one of the best we've had for a while, I think. He's had a hand in it. And even last year's squad, we knew he was going to be our coach last year for a year before. So he had such a hand in the players we signed for the team last year. And we already saw how ruthless he was with getting players out. Your George Flanagans and stuff, they were out at early doors last season. And these new...
And is that maybe what Salford are looking to replicate in terms of getting Haggerty very much involved with Rowley in terms of talent retention and recruitment over the next 12 months?
Yeah, it makes sense. And that's the thing, though, when I'm saying about the announcement, they didn't have to announce this. They could have announced it halfway through next season and just, they could have known.
But then the problem is, like you say, if someone becomes available and then you announce Haggerty, it's the boring choice. And it's like, why have you not done this? By doing it now when no one else is available, it's accepted this is what happening. Big name comes available, you know he's not going to Salford, that's sorted. The links don't even start.
Yeah.
You also, I guess the other risk is you get the whole, I've forgotten his first name, Edwards situation at Wigan, where he's like, fuck you guys, I'm staying as William Welsh.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. So, yeah, I mean, fair play. At least they've got it announced and they know, as a Salford fan, you've at least got that sort of peace of mind.
Sean Edwards, that's the guy.
Yeah. I'd be worried, like, if they have a shit season next year, finish like 11th, and you're like, oh, is this...
Is that likely, though? Because this was the year they were going to do it, when they had no money to recruit anyone, and they've finished fourth. And I think, so far at least, they've not really lost the big names like they were like starting this season, without Ackers, without Croft. So far, they've retained most of the start. I mean, who's the biggest loss they've got? Partington. It was another potential shoe-in for an outsider England 13 that would have been more ambitious.
Yeah, no, potentially. Yeah. No, I don't know really what they've. I know that I don't think they've lost any of the big names necessarily that I can think of off the top of my head. Anyway.
No, I can't. And okay, don't get me wrong, they've not recruited any yet, but
no, but they will. You've got the confidence that they will, I guess. But yeah,
and Salford don't need the big flashy side. I mean, they made one mid-season this year, and I think he played about twice and was then binned off for being shit.
What? Who's that?
Not Faluma. We've all forgotten it even happened because he was that bad.
They signed him at the start of the year, though, didn't they? To be fair,
it was like round 3 or something. Daft.
Yeah. Well, signed him, and then he didn't turn up for a month, did he? Like it were a long process.
Yeah, there was some, I think, visa issue or something. Then he eventually came over, and then it was just not worth the hype at all.
No, yeah, I think they're an underrated. I mean, it's going to be tough next year, which we'll probably start previewing more as we get into the pre-season sort of time. Is like who finishes bottom of Super League next year?
It's a good question, and I think at this stage of recruitment, I genuinely don't know the answer.
Because Hull FC, we can all laugh about this season, but like they're going in
right. They've got the money to change things. That's the thing.
Yeah, like, exactly.
It needs a cultural overhaul. Don't get me wrong, but they can afford to do that. And as much as we joke about the kids being not enough to beat many people last year, their development has skyrocketed from it. I mean, you look at where Lewis Martin is now versus the start of last year, and that week in, week out experience has made his potential shoot exponentially. And that's one example. There's plenty more in that squad. I think what is interesting, though, is Lee's recruitment so far. Because not only are we seeing some of these flashy names where you've got Beaumont making these outrageous claims that can be better than French, their most recent signing reminded me a lot of Salford. And that is, of course, playing Championship Young Player of the Year, AJ Towson from York.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting and I think smart move from Lee, because that's a cheap signing and he's going to replace a lot of their aging players who have or are about to depart to Hull FC.
Yeah, I know. I think it's smart because what's the worst case scenario is maybe if it doesn't work out, he's on loan. And
if it didn't work out about 2 months in, he probably goes on dual reg to York or like on loan to York and stops there for the year. And
yeah, although I think
really upset about that.
I don't know the background stuff, but I remember him. I think there might have been some issues at York with him. Like I don't know if he won't get picked. This might have been when Henderson were leading. I don't know what that was, but I just remember it being a period where he just won't get picked. He was like a couple of 18th mans, and obviously he's one of the better players in the championship. So, yeah. Although he didn't win championship, did you say won championship young player of the year, or did you say one of the best young players?
I think he has. I think he did win it the other year. I don't think he didn't win it this year.
No, because it's. And I don't know if you listened to pod I did. I went on a fucking right run. Just give it to all Wakey players. That's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like you're right. You watch. You know right. Young player at year at championship, Oliver Pratt. Come on, mate. Like. I'm not even saying my.
I don't want to get you started on this again because we had 40 minutes of this. No, you're saying how the hell did I get 40 minutes? Like, this is why. Because you went on one of my style rants.
No, yeah, it wouldn't. I won't even. Yeah. Anyway, it just that's a separate thing to be fair. But no, Towers is great. That's a decent signing for him, and
Now, what I can't wait for is who's going to get the sacked in pre-season for getting caught with a line NRL star who's going to just absolutely go and be the best player in the league or not catch a bloody cold. Because someone's going to do it. And it happens every year. And this has got Castleford scream all over it, I think, this year with the new ownership. Desperate to make a statement signing and just completely get the wrong guy.
Yeah. No, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, Cassie's an interesting one for next year. I'm looking forward to doing the previews and sort of seeing where recruitment goes with these teams and stuff. And yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, Cass have got a big off season ahead because they've lost, what was it, 9 players, and of those, I think only one of them they'll be too disappointed about, and that was arguably their player of the season.
Yeah.
Which, if he wants to go back home, they've not stood in his way. There's not much they can do about that.
Oh no, it's one of them, isn't it? Yeah,
But that is a big one to replace, and the rest of them, predominantly dead wood.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of them have rocked up for Newcastle this season is the real question, or Batley, or wherever.
Yeah, Nixon put at Batley and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the dual regime to Thunder at one point.
They definitely played a game up at Thunder, yeah.
And then Kabula at Batley.
Kabul played all season at Batley, though, to be fair, mate, I think, at this point.
I'm sure he made a couple of appearances early doors.
Oh, no, he did, yeah, but, do you know what I mean? It was one of them where it got halfway through the season, he was there.
Yeah. They still didn't bother to put his name on his shirt,
No, it's big shirt, to be fair. They probably didn't have letters big enough.
Can't wait for him to sign for Bradford now.
It depends who we fucking get. If we get fucking Lingard, then he probably will. But
I don't think you're getting Lingard.
I just hope we get it sorted now. My only worry is just the person coming in being happy with the squad and having the same sort of general vision.
I'm really waiting for it. It's going to make everyone so miserable, and the Bradford fans are not going to smile for 3 years.
It's not. Don't say Ford.
Ian Watson, the most miserable man in rugby league.
You give me a bit of Ian Watson. Ian Watson at championship level, mate. That's.
Yeah, but he's still not going to crack a bloody smile.
No, I know that, but.
That man could watch his child be born. I don't think he'd face a turn above neutral.
I don't mind giving it because Greenwood's been his number 2. Greenwood coached us in the.
I genuinely could see it being Ford, though. By the way.
No, fuck off! No, we cannot do that. I'm not getting a season ticket if we do. Fuck with that shit. But
you could see it though. It's the sort of thing that Bradford would do.
Surely not, though, because he's not even going to be that cheap of an. Go Greenwood for me, because Greenwood ran us in the interim period.
Get Sean Long in.
I'd take Sean. Well, because Sean Long's fucking old, and he'll be happy as Larry, won't he?
I'm gonna say, but you might end up with Rowan back. That's not.
You know why? Who's recently just left following relegation? Give me fucking Killshaw, mate. Come on.
It'll be Bradford in League One next year.
Yeah.
Christ, I can't wait to watch you get spanked away at Hunslet.
Someone's commented on this, got Ian Watson written all over it, or Rowan Smith. Rowan Smith.
Oh, good luck.
Got Leeds to a grand final, mate.
Yeah, the Jamie Jones Buchanan effect, and you ain't having him.
No, but I'm just right. You cannot tell me Rowan Smith. He'll be fine. He won't back in day. He'll fine at that level. He's fine at championship. Rowan Smith. You know the good thing I like about Rowan Smith, right? He's got a job. He's a decent bloke. He's
already got a job.
I know he has, but we'll fucking pay him out.
He's only just gone back to North Devils. He's not coming.
Yeah. Or give me Uncle Tony then.
Oh God.
Tony Smith would be pulling.
Oh yes, Smith and Ockenbar back together. Can't wait for him to rock number 11 next year and miss every tackle in the middle. Even now, you've only just found his form on wing.
I wouldn't mind, maybe Simon Griggs.
That's good. Put Smith and Pele back together again. What is this? All FC?
Oh yeah, we can't do that. That didn't work out, mate. That's what I mean. Though. That this is my worry and we'll finish it off. We can finish it off after this. My big worry is right. Pele and Ockenbar are clearly not personalities, but it didn't work out at LFC. O'Carroll comes in, gets him fucking smiling again, gets him playing really good rugby. And
this is where I think Watson in the Championship is not a great idea because he is not known for having a motivated, happy squad.
Yeah, which is potentially.
And considering that your biggest wages are probably going on those two, that's a lot of cap to be sent miserable on sidelines or not motivated and can't be asked against Batley.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You need. That's my 1 week, which is why potentially I would be looking at Greenwood's coached in Championship before. I know it was down with Dewsbury and stuff. He did us on an interim basis whilst we transitions to O'Carroll. He's been O'Carroll's number 2 all season. I'd just give him it potentially. I'd potentially
a couple of other names to throw into the mix.
Go on.
Bring back Dunning.
I mean, it won't even be worse thing it will. I wouldn't want it to happen because I also think I want him to keep doing what he's doing at Midlands because he's doing great, to be fair. So I want him to...
I'm going to give you one other more very rogue shout, but it involves the end of a playing career to take the job.
Go on. Don't
the
say
return of Paul Sykes.
Paul Sykes. Fuck. Christ.
Actually, better idea. Poach Halifax as signing. Get Eastmond in.
Oh yeah, shit. Fuck it. I'm trying to think of like Bradford legends who could, not legends, but like players who've got.
I don't know. Diskin flopped in management last time, but maybe he's learned now.
Yeah, I saw Matt Diskin over there. Just past it. I drove past him.
Did you ask him on pod?
No, I just drove past it. He was like by my mum's house. Drove past him.
Oh, that's not very good, is it?
So it means he's knocking about around there. So
no, he's knocking about around your mum's, is he?
Yeah,
I'm sure Amanda's going to love that insinuated on pod when she listens to this.
I don't know really. My mind just keeps going Leon Price, but no, we can't do that.
God,
we can't be doing that.
Not unless it's bringing your Will on loan for a year.
You know what's Matt Orford up to at the minute?
All right, you'll be all right for first season. Just don't get to the second season and get Ant Walker.
Maybe it is a John Key return, isn't it? That's
God.
It's probably going to be announced. It won't be announced.
It's going to be Brian Noble returning to.
I mean, he's already in like He's already like director of rugby, isn't he? So
yeah.
There's no reason why. That's why I think just give it Greenwood and have Noble around him. Maybe bringing in a new assistant in who can be someone who's, I don't know, relatively inexperienced, wanting to progress to this. Like basically, you could give Michael Lawrence, who's just going that way towards coaching, like the assistant role whilst playing. He only plays 2 games a season anyway.
Get your newest recruit in.
What, Meadows?
Donna.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. We've got the experienced players there. You know what I mean? Like Harry would hate that. Wouldn't imagine like a Dan Smith, Michael Lawrence co-coaching partnership. Bloody hell.
He's just finished celebrating O'Carroll and here's Lawrence, and then just cries for all of this next few seasons.
I mean, I'm just looking at these options that people saying stuff here, but
Scott Morrell.
Well, Scott Morrell's gone to Fax, hasn't he? Has that not?
Didn't happen.
Never happened. No, because Scott Morrell hates Bradford, man.
He's sabotaged from the inside.
Yeah. Oh, maybe so. Huddersfield are delighted to announce the signing of Huddersfield-born George King on a 4-year contract.
Is that the breaking news? He's left
2 hours ago. Yeah, I've just seen it on Twitter.
Well, at least we've covered it in the pod.
Yeah, that's true.
Better signing than Burgess.
Probably, actually, yeah.
Pound for pound.
What he'll give you, yeah. But I can't. We don't know. It could be announced. Could the Bulls coach by the time this goes out, or it could not. But might be some more names thrown in. It sounds like there's going to be a decent bit of movement around backroom staff at Super League clubs anyway. So
potentially, so yeah. I mean, I don't quite know. Like you say, get Luke Galen.
Oh God.
The thing is, that's actually feasible as well.
Not as coaching, fuck me.
Well, I mean, it's feasible. I don't think it'd be smart, but I could see it.
I mean, do we get Webster from Keighley? But I mean, he would do more direct.
Oh God, going Keighley to Bradford, that's an experience.
But then he'll do what he did at Keighley and just buy old Bradford players back to Bradford. We'd end up with like all.
Well, no, he'll complain. I'm gonna say, no, you'll get him in, and then someone will moan that he's just bringing his mates in, and all these players will fuck off then.
Yeah, it's the tricky thing is it's never. O'Carroll brought this almost DNA of let's look at these young overseas Australian players. We never did that before. I mean, we did that at the start of last year. That pod of the most recent 10 overseas players play for Bradford, and there were like 2 that were recent.
We're going back to like 2015, yeah, and now you've had about 6 this year.
More than 6.
And not all of them have worked. Don't get me wrong.
I reckon we've had about 8 this season.
I'm going to say who you had, because there's Bayliss,
Lehman, Fulton, Suter, or Pele, Ockenbaugh.
I'm not counting Pele and Ockenbaugh when they came from Hull FC. They did not.
No, but they're overseas players.
They are, but I meant more the young Aussies you've brought over that you.
Oh, right. Well, no, but even in terms of the quarters, there's Ockenbaugh, Pelly.
Yeah, then Tafua.
Apo, Tafua, that's 9 that we've had play this season. And there's probably fucking more.
Yes, about 4 or 5 of them are, like you say, these young Aussies that he's brought over that you'd have never looked at.
Yeah, which have all paid off, really. I mean, Bayliss has been good. Ott and Suter have been fine, and they're on for next year as well, as is Bayliss. Lehman's maybe not worked out too great, but
you've also got some arguments on Ott there, and you know full well that Ott's
I know you're not a big Ott guy, but
I don't mean from me.
From Harry. From O'Carroll, because he didn't play him in fucking playoffs, did he? Well, as soon as he got playoffs, he just won nowhere to be seen.
Don't forget, he didn't play Holmes either, despite him apparently not really being injured, according to the inside man in France.
Is this the thing of O'Carroll's announced that he's leaving before semi-final and they've all kicked off? Is that what we're saying?
No, he's saying that Tom Holmes wasn't really injured, so maybe he's had a fallout with him again and he's getting sold like he won't start season why he didn't play.
Maybe Holmes said it's either me or O'Carroll who's got to go, and so club showed O'Carroll door.
Don't say that. He'll be treating that as gospel. He'll be going around area be loyal tomorrow.
You know what? Seeing as though O'Carroll's gone, and you know Harry was telling us that Samet thought training was shit. Maybe Samet's taking over and he's going to sort training out.
There you go. All Harry's cards are coming in now.
Yeah.
What's next? He's going to be posting with Olivia Rodrigo on a date.
Oh, God. We haven't had Harry on in that long. A lot of new listeners or viewers probably have never actually met or seen him.
You've seen this gobshite on Twitter, though.
Oh, yeah, you'll know him. But
the scrawny little one.
Yeah. The twink is what we like to call him.
Ledo's twink, yeah.
Yes.
That's his affectionate name. I thought he'd been quiet lately. It's because he's been stuck on that plane to wherever that he's not stopped moaning about on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. He hasn't even got on from Toulouse yet or whatever.
I don't know, whenever he's trying to fly on Ryanair, they pushed his flight back and he's not shut up about it.
Oh, dear. But
we've got a bit sidetracked here. Shall we keep this under an hour?
Yeah, let's end it, I reckon.
Cool. Thanks for sticking with all this waffle for this long, guys. And yeah, God knows what we'll be talking about next week. Probably
we'll be reviewing the first game, won't we?
I'm going to say probably how we've just been destroyed by Samoa, and we're about to get a Leeds Rhinos man of the match performance at Headingley from Keenan Passeata.
Yeah.
So until we're crying over England next week, guys, goodbye.
Yep, see ya.